How's it going? I'm Ryan, and today I'm going to go over the two trades that I took on SPY. Both happen to be losers, so my green streak of over a week is it's over. It's been broken today, but didn't go until didn't overtrade. Once I hit two losses, I called it a day. We'll dive into those in just a second. For now, we're on the daily time frame. You can see we have been on an absolute tear. A few levels to consider around yesterday's high, around 462.1. We had another level around 463.4, and another up above around 464.5. Didn't quite get there. We're also watching the high and low of yesterday, which pretty much coincided with some levels I was watching, so nothing too crazy there. I won't necessarily call those out. Yeah, you can see that we had rallied up, held this level, broke above the high in the pre-market, held that. On CPI news, we rallied up around 464 before rejecting below that 462 level, retesting in the pre-market, and we'll take a look at that. So as we open the day, we got that break below this level, retest, looks pretty weak. Had that pre-market low, sold right through it, and looked pretty bearish overall. This definitely influenced my bias. I think I was looking for entries to the downside, just looking at how we reacted to that CPI data, that we'd broken this key level, retested, rejected. I was watching for potentially a bounce around 460.25. We didn't quite get down there. But we did find a temporary bottom, rallied up, and came up and tested this pre-market low. So this is where I took my first trade. I am going to slap on the exponential moving average, because it's played a little bit of the decision making here. So we rallied up, went up to retest that pre-market low, waited for this candle to close, waited for this one to close here. And after that, I entered puts on this candle. So I felt pretty good about it because it looked to be that we were making a lower high here. We tried to push up above that pre-market low, got rejected twice, tested that 9 EMA as well and closed underneath it. So kind of tested on this candle, closed underneath, pushed up above, got pushed back down here. That to me looks like a pretty good reversal sign, and I was targeting the day's low for a potential trim, and then 460.24. I only took one contract, however. We'll take a look at the 2-minute as well. So let me remove this. So we came up and we tested after we had, I believe it was on this candle here. So once we finished here, close that candle. That was, where was it here? At some point, once we'd closed that 5-minute candle and confirmed, or not confirmed, but it looked to me that we were confirming a rejection, I entered puts. Stop was above this high right here, so I sold on this candle here. We technically wicked up a little bit on this candle, but kind of got pushed down, and I was giving it a little bit of wiggle room to see if we would reject in this area, especially as we're coming up to test that opening print as well. So this candle stopped me out. That was one contract. I took tomorrow's expiration, so I traded a day out, and that was a 461 put. So I was targeting that low a day, trying to get about an 80-cent move or so, with that becoming in the money about halfway through. That didn't work, so I think a little bit of a downside bias, but I did feel pretty good entering that, and I had good risk to reward, so that trade doesn't bother me too much. We were at a level I was watching, we were below the EMA, looking solid on the 5-minute, so entered with a tight stop. If we look at about where I entered, somewhere around 461.4, we'll call it, exited, we'll say around 461.55. 15-cent risk to about an 80-cent move to the downside that we were targeting. So pretty good risk to reward there. Not too mad about that. My second trade, however, was a little less of a setup. Definitely looking back at it, probably shouldn't have taken it. Actually, I am going to throw that exponential moving average back on, because I think this also cements the point of maybe I should have held off on this second trade. So I did look for a second trade with a small loss here. I was looking for a second trade to take, hopefully looking for a winner, obviously, to end the day green. I took puts here on this candle right here. Reason being, this was a level that we had rejected off of yesterday. It's kind of where we made our top. But one thing that I'm realizing as I look back is we didn't have a big rejection off of this level. We rejected temporarily, but over the after hours in the pre-market, we kind of just grinded our way up above and held that level. So to me, I should have maybe paid attention to, I guess, sort of the ease that we broke through earlier, and realized maybe that this wasn't as strong of a resistance as I was expecting. I was watching the hourly and looking to see a rejection here as well. It looked like that we had, held this level, broken below, and we're retesting it on the hourly. So I was looking for maybe continuation down. I suppose this should have been enough of an indication, that long wick that we had pushed down and held that pre-market level on the hourly. So another thing I could have paid attention to is just that overall bullish sentiment that we had. Additionally, you have to consider a break above the previous day's high as bullish. That shows that we're continuously making higher highs on a daily pattern. So that in its own nature is bullish. So we also held that 9 EMA. We never broke below that 9 EMA. You can see we wicked off there. A lot of things I'm looking at now that kind of tell me I should not have been in this trade. Regardless, I took a single put here. I took a 462, so just slightly out of the money, felt a little safer with that. Took a small size. I had one contract. I was hoping for a pullback to this pre-market low. I wanted to see us pull back to this level. Once again, looking for about an 80-cent move, so just under $1 move. Stop was above the high of the day here. So entered on this candle somewhere in here around, I think, between these two levels. The reason why I did is that we had this move up and we had this immediate drop down. Once again, another thing that I realized, we had lowering volume, especially on that red candle, that selling candle. Lower volume than the previous. And even though this candle did try to press up above and got closed below, we also held that 9 EMA. So that finishing green on pretty similar volume as this previous candle. All this remains pretty bullish. We set, we did hit this level here and set a higher high than we had yesterday. Let's take a look at the 2-minute as well. We can really analyze this and kind of understand what went wrong. I am going to remove this EMA on the 2-minute as I do not use it there. So what I was saying is that we'd come up, tested it, kind of rejected, came up, tested it, sold back down, pushed up above, had a long wick. We're kind of bouncing around in this area. It looked like when we got up in this towards yesterday's high, we were getting good rejections. You see these long wicks, you see these reversals, or these bearish engulfings, I guess. So I felt pretty good about that. But the one thing that I think I ignored is we were holding this 462 really well. And additionally, we're also forming a bit of a bull flag. So you can see we had this massive run up. And we even did it here as well, right? Hold that 461.28. Form a flag. I apologize for these lines. I'll remove them. So you can see we kind of came up, flagged, made a higher high. Then we come up and do a similar thing, and we hold that whole number, that 462, really well. And we're flagging. That looks like we're just waiting for a breakout, right? And that formation is intrinsically bullish. We have a big move up. We are holding a solid support base. We're kind of getting compressed, and then you see that explosive move out of it in continuation. This is a pattern that you see throughout the rest of the day. You can see that we did it here as well, made a move up, held that level, kind of consolidated, broke out. You know, we did it throughout the day, where we kind of get pinched, break out, move up. We did it here, you know, kind of make a high, consolidate, break out. So we did it throughout the entire day. In 2020 hindsight, this hadn't happened during the period of time that I was trading. So, you know, it was much earlier in the day. But regardless, we had broken above the opening print here, where we opened. So we had broken above the opening print, broken above the previous day's high, and we're forming a flag pattern on the 2 minute. So definitely something I should have paid attention to. I think like just understanding that we are at a kind of a bullish swing point, breaking above that high of yesterday is like shows some bullish momentum for sure. So overall, I think that was a bad trade that I took, and I think that was influenced maybe by my bias to the downside today, still thinking maybe we'd get a rejection. It was also influenced by taking a loss here and looking for an opportunity to make that back. So had I not maybe been, I guess what I'm trying to say is, for instance, if I was positive, if I did get a rejection here or something and had a winning trade, would I take this trade? Would I risk this? Probably not. And to tell you the truth, I saw this as a bit of a flag when I was in it. I think I entered somewhere in here, one of these candles. To me, I was seeing lower lows. I think I had tricked myself into seeing what I wanted to see. But I was aware that we were holding that 462 really well. And once we got this breakout, that's what stopped me out. I believe this candle here, because that was officially the break above high. So this candle didn't get me out. This one tested that high, kind of got pushed down. This one broke above the high, and this is where I stopped out. So I did have a defined risk. I stuck to it. Once I took those 2 trades, I was done for the day. So in a few ways, I stuck to my rules, but this selection of trade here was not very optimal, and it cost me. So also think maybe I held a little bit too long. I think I could have sold on this breakout of this flag and saved myself a little bit, as we did get that bigger move up. Obviously, my contract went down in value. I think if I watched and saw that breakout of that flag, cut my loss on that breakout, seeing that we had bullish momentum, that could have saved me a bit of a loss as well. So positives, I had a predefined target, I had a predefined stop. Negatives, and positives, I stuck to my stop. So I stuck to my trade plan, but I guess my trade plan wasn't the best. Just looking at price action and volume, and kind of understanding what these levels mean. So overall, like I said, not the greatest. My winning streak comes to an end here with a losing day. Overall, not the worst losing day. Didn't go on tilt, didn't continue to trade, didn't size up. So there are some positives to be gained there, but nonetheless, the streak is over and we begin tomorrow. That's all I got. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. I do trade live Monday through Friday, so stop by, say what's up if you would feel so inclined. Love to have you. Other than that, hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you again. Peace.